Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show. Welcome, all good people, to our show. By the way, I don't want to discriminate bad people. Welcome to our show as well. Everyone comes to our show. And today we have a special guest because we are going to cover topics about leadership and sales, how you can increase sales. And you need to watch or listen until the end because we have great conversation with David Dulany. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Excited.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure because I check out your profile. You have extended experience. Before we start, just tell more about your experience, background, and why you decided to pay a lot of attention with sales.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had been selling sales training for 7 years earlier in my career. So just everything sales and marketing was in my blood. But I had always wanted to get into the tech industry. And I live here in San Francisco. So at the same time, they were staffing up Glassdoor, which we know is a big website right now, and looking for salespeople. And so I got in the door at Glassdoor, and we started the sales development program while I was at Glassdoor. And they call them SDRs, BDRs, etc. Really focusing on that prospecting and following up on inbound leads, and eventually, started coaching and training and writing playbooks for those with my company that I have now called Tenbound.
Yeah, got it. Love it. Love. Okay. I check out a few studies online that salespeople distrust marketers. Can you tell why and how to fix it? Because marketing without sales doesn't work. We need to get the right data about our customers, how we can set up marketing messages, and how to unite marketers and sales department in one cohesive goal.
Yeah, it's interesting because there definitely was a huge problem, back in the day before all the technology came into play. I see it changing now, especially in the tech industry, where we usually focus on, and especially now that there's that connection between marketing and sales called the sales development team. The SDRs, they kind of sit in between marketing and sales and act as a bridge between those. And more, these programs are actually rolling up to marketing as a marketing extension of the marketing team. So I do see it. It's the relationship is improving, but there is still that perception that marketing sits in like an ivory tower, and they're creating brand assets and doing stuff on the computer. They're not in the trenches, talking with the customers and working on deals every day and really hearing what's going on in the marketplace. And so they create sort of an incongruity between what marketing is giving sales in order to enable them and what sales actually can use and apply to make more sales. So there's still definitely that relationship is strained in a lot of companies. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about customers. For example, today customers have a lot of choices. If you can't sell them, they can buy in many other places. Similar products. Can you tell how to win customers' minds, hearts, to get them on board? Because according to a few studies, most customers don't buy from unrecognizable brands. They don't buy if you don't share value with them before. That means they need to see your brand. It's like 7 times, on the average side. Can you tell how to win before buying customers and give them the strong reason to check out your products?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a big question. The thing where we always start with our clients is go through the buying process yourself and compare it to the buying process that you have with other solutions. especially when it comes to B2C. So if you're buying a consumer product, for example, what does that buying experience look like for you? And then flip that around and bring it into a B2B environment and really put yourself through that filter of how is the buying experience for you in that case. And more as dinosaurs like me start to evolve out of the workplace, the younger generation is expecting a buying experience that's as seamless and intuitive as a consumer buying experience. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're bringing that mentality into B2B. And if they experience any sort of friction, then you're potentially going to lose customers. So I would
Mm-hmm.
first of all put yourself in their shoes. How do you buy? The second one is, especially with what we do with working with the SDRs and BDRs, is it's always the scientific method, applying that to your marketing. So it's the classic. It goes back thousands of years, where you start with a hypothesis, you test the hypothesis through experimentation, you document, and then you change your approach for the next hypothesis and continue over and over and over again for the rest of your life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So two things to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Can you tell how to satisfy customers' intent when they wanna get answers immediately?
Yeah.
Because most customers are impatient. They are not willing to wait when, especially if we are talking about selling online. Yeah, when they have questions about your products, they
Mhm.
wanna get answers now. But even big companies can't reply fast. It's frustrating. It's for example, it's annoying when you are waiting for the reply to submit questions on some forums, waiting for emails. How to decide these problems today? Because customers can leave and forget about your brand.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about the how the attention span is going down. I mean, with all the different technology that people are plugged into, and they're constantly being bombarded with information, and their attention span, continues to decline every day. But on the flip side, they're still, especially in the B2B market, they're still trying to solve problems every day. There's an ever expanding number of problems that people are trying to solve. And so they're out looking for information. And so number one is, are you supplying the content that's really useful for them to be able to do that initial research and learn about your brand and start to get engaged? And are you really providing quality, advice and content that they can rely on, so that they come back, so they know about you? And then when they do decide, okay, this company really understands my problem, I think there might be something here. If they contact you, you've got to be on that, like, immediately, because
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds, to your point, like 5 seconds later, they're off to something else. And it might not have anything to do with your competitors or anything. It's the, whatever just popped up on their phone or whatever else is going on. So you've got to be right on that, either through a bot or have a human being on the chat, helping them so that they can get what they need from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I think tools or bot you mentioned about that. Yeah, they provide a good job today. It's not like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Today, if you set up the right settings, I don't know. Yeah, you can get uh, high replies to your clients. I want to share one story. Today I got, I have one speaker and he films video for me. And, when he films video, he usually uses words like blah, meh, blah, something like this, and it takes time, to take away all this fluff. But today he sent me a video with a female voice. I asked him, "What's going on? It's not you." He replied to me, "No, no, that was me. It's impossible because it's female." He replied to me, "No, it's me, but with artificial intelligence voice, female."
Oh
That
my
was
God,
my, yeah, I never thought to
that's
get
scary.
such quality sound without editing with a nice, sweet female voice. Very, it's hard to even to to reply, to share how it works, but she made a video with female sound voice, sweetie voice, without any fluff. And yeah, I think today artificial intelligence can play a huge role. What do you think about setting, I don't know, like replies with AI tools?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I'm blown away by the advanced, technology that's been coming
Mm-hmm.
out, especially with deep fakes also, and
Mm-hmm.
the advancements in AI. And what we tell people is there's more and more the repetitive activities are being replaced obviously by technology, but there's still value adds of being human in that you can connect the dots
Mm-hmm.
and you can the context relevant to people that you're actually talking to. The AI hasn't quite gotten to that point yet. And so there still is a lot of people ask me, are we going to just get rid of all salespeople and just have bots be doing everything? And my answer is we're not there yet. And there's still a lot of value add that salespeople can bring, a good salesperson in bringing that context and connecting the dots for the customers. And so if I was out there listening as a marketer or a salesperson, I would say you've got to really become fluent in the problems that
Mm-hmm.
your market is trying to solve and what creative ways can you come up with to truly really help them.
Mm-hmm.
The computer cannot do that yet, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me in
Yeah.
10 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes, yeah, when I submit some requests and
Mm.
got after reply, yeah, it's awful, yeah,
Yeah.
in many cases. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's better to be careful with that, to check out manually how it works. If it works good, why not? You can use it. If it's not, it's better to leave it and to wait a little bit, or to find another tool, with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I have.
and real quick, if you've ever been a customer of Facebook, as far as placing Facebook ads and doing any sort of business relationship with Facebook, it's a nightmare. I mean, because there's and no offense to anybody from Facebook if you're listening, but they know that they have you and they're going to get your
Mhm,
money, right? So they
mhm,
don't care if the bot doesn't work or if you
mhm,
can't get the answer that you need, or you just need a human being to help you contextualize and connect the dots. They don't care because they know you're
mhm,
going to eventually either figure it out and give the money or just go away. It doesn't matter whatever. They're still going to be super successful. So
mhm.
Facebook can get away with that. But I bet most of the people on the call can't. I mean, you still have to be in there helping your customers as a human being so that they can get what they need.
Mhm, mhm. Uh, what do you think about selling bad products? Is it good idea to
Mhm.
sell them, or it's better to check it out the quality before selling? What do you think?
Yeah, selling bad products, did you say?
Yeah, bad products. I mean, like poor
Yeah, just
quality.
low quality crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, no, dude. It's got to be. I mean, that may work for a little while, but eventually it's going to, if you want to be in business for more than a year or two,
Mhm,
you're going to get caught out because they're never going to come back or they're going to tell their friends and leave bad reviews about you and stuff like that.
mhm,
So, I think that when you're starting out and you're just trying to figure stuff out, you might be restrained because your product is
mhm,
just not very good, but you still have to put food on the table, right, for the family.
mhm,
But as soon as you have any sort of traction or you're making any progress, the quality of the product is everything, really.
mhm,
Because if you think about it, you can sell and market and do all the proactive activities till your turns blue. But if your product is a piece of crap, the all that is for nothing. You got a couple of dollars,
yeah.
and then you got to start over. So
Mhm.
really, I mean, you got to emphasize the quality of the product.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even, I know that it's better to check it out, customer reviews, but if you're not sure about quality, you can send for free, to bloggers, to customers, to ask their
Yeah.
reviews, feedback, to get it and think how to improve it. Many companies usually do it like this, they check out. By the way, can you tell
True.
me about learning customers? For example, I read a few stories when CEOs of big companies, real big companies, they don't rely to tools. I don't remember exactly. That was actually Pepsi. And if I remember correctly, CEO of this company came to customers and asked about their feeling, about their pain points. And many other companies, if I'm wrong about Pepsi, they usually talk to customers, then don't rely to data tools. Is it good idea to go to one customer, to two customers, to spend time with them, or it's better to learn the average data from tools?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard. Like the CEO is pulled in so many different directions, and they're trying to
Mhm.
do so many different things, and I think it's easy to take your eye off the ball of what's the most important thing, which is the customers, right? And
Mhm.
their success, and making sure that everything that you're doing is helpful to them, so that they keep coming back. Because after,
Mhm.
I think if you take your eye off of the customers and their problems and how you solve those specifically, if you take your eye off that long enough, you end up shipping products that nobody wants, and things go downhill and you get fired. I mean, that's
Mhm.
that's what happens all the time. And one of the pieces of technology that's really helped in the sales world has been call recorders that analyze sales calls. And
Mhm.
some of the big names are Gong, Chorus, and Exec Vision in our world. And essentially, they all the sales calls are now over Zoom because of COVID, and they sit in the Zoom, and they record the call with the consent of the customer. And then there's AI in the back analyzing the words that they say, and the expressions that they use, and how they describe their problems and things like that. And this has been a huge advancement in the sales world, because instead of just sales is kind of a art and science, and it's mainly the art, and some salespeople are just really, really good at understanding pain points, and building relationships, and all that artistic type of stuff. But
Mhm.
with being able to analyze the conversation, and really, really focus in on what's important to customers, has really helped salespeople to be better, and marketers as well, because marketers, like I said, sometimes are removed a little bit from the customers and their problems, and they lose sight of how to set up programs in order to really get in front of those. And so
Mhm.
you got to listen to your customers, I guess. That's the main point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have another question about uh, it's like strategy. For example, in
Yeah.
marketing, we have short, medium, and long playing games like strategy, goals. And what about sales? Can we
Yeah.
set up some long playing strategies to sell products? Because I think salespeople, probably I'm wrong, but they want to sell today. It's not about tomorrow or in the next year. What do you think about that? Provide more insights.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sales should be involved in product development and marketing, ingrained. Really, I think it's
Hmm.
critical, at least on the leadership level.
Hmm.
To make sure that everyone's in alignment. Because if you think about it, if and this is more in like bigger companies, but if the product development team is developing things that nobody wants, because they haven't talked to a customer in a long time, or they're not on the front line with the salespeople, that's obviously going to affect the whole company downstream. And any product developer or product marketer worth their salt is going to know this. But if this is news to you, then you got to make sure that the frontline feedback that you're getting from customers on the current products that you have and the pain points that they're trying to solve is making it into your product development cycle, and then going into the marketing material that you're putting out and the events and the SEO, everything that you're doing. And so you can make sure that you just stay relevant, for one. Now, going beyond that, if you're trying to do like a breakthrough, that breakthrough product that's completely different, it's going to revolutionize the marketplace. That's on a different level, because it's almost like you have to go above the current customer problems and come up with something completely different. And that is in the realm of genius level type of stuff. So for us regular people, it's just, hey, what are the customers dealing with, and how can we best serve those needs?
Okay, valuable.
Yeah.
Let's talk about retaining customers longer.
Yeah.
According to a few studies, acquiring new customer costs 5 times more than retaining a customer. How to build these relationships? How to build this, or I don't know, or how to retain them, keep them longer, to build loyalty with customers? Provide more insights about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that is essentially why the software as a service, and we're in the tech industry here, and why software as a service has grown so tremendously over the last 20 years is because the toughest part is going out and luring in and finding the customers, getting them to sign up for the subscription. Once they're over that hump, then it's like we just really need to celebrate them and take care of them and make sure that they're staying with us year after year. So I would just say thing number one is, if you don't have any sort of subscription product or subscription service or nothing that's sort of recurring automatically, that's where I would start. I mean, think about how your product or service could potentially become a subscription, where it's not set it and forget it, but it's essentially, as long as the customers are getting value each month, they're not thinking about canceling. So that's the first thing, and that's a big hurdle for a lot of companies. A lot of companies still sell products and services as a project by project by project. Some of the biggest companies in the world do that. They're not on a subscription, and so if from a business perspective, if it's possible to go that way, then you're solving a lot of issues. Now, once they're either on a project with you or they're in a subscription, you've got to do everything that you can to make sure that they're informed about the value that you're providing. And I think that that's, especially with consultants and freelancers and coaches and things like that, you get so heads down trying to provide the service that you promised, or to create the product for them. You're not really ensuring that they're getting value from it and communicated enough. And so I think that's a lot of companies fall down, and we've made that mistake, in the past, where we weren't in communication enough, because we were so focused on delivering the service that we didn't make sure that they really felt like they were getting enough value from it, and that becomes a huge problem. So, and there's
Yeah.
one more quick thing to think about, is creating a community around the problem that people are trying to solve that you're really good at. And so, if your niche is, let's say, SEO, right? So you solve the problem of getting people to the top of the search box. I'm sure that there's millions of problems that come into play when it comes to SEO. And there's millions of people out there that are actively trying to solve those problems. So is there a way that you can get those people together into a forum or into some kind of discussion around those problems, where you're not selling, or pitching constantly, but you're bringing them together, adding value, and bringing your customers in there, adding value to them, and just staying in communication as you move forward?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned about software as a service, and I
Yeah.
often see when these companies provide freemium versions, demo versions, yeah, because they wanna give customers some stuff for free because they can check out how it works for them.
Yeah.
And I like the quote from HRFs, and they share on the main page. Don't buy our product before understanding that it works for you, before you
Yeah.
understanding how it works. So why you need to have customers who don't understand your product, they can leave it and leave negative review. So it's better, to
Yeah.
satisfy the intent before. Okay,
Big time. Yeah.
yeah, I have the question about learning sales. Can you tell if someone, because I have two, I have different audience. Some of them wanna be good salespeople. The second part, they usually sell their products a lot more. Let's help the the first part.
Yeah.
How to learn sales today? Because we have a lot of stuff online. How to find the right way and to know that it's not the best, but it's good way to learn about sales.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage that we have now is that information is essentially free, and
Hmm.
it's a huge change. I mean, just in the last 20 years, people probably didn't even don't remember, but you used to have to pay a lot to get good information, and it was you had to order like books and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
videos, and they came in the mail to your house. I mean, this is like crazy to think about, but right now essentially there's a lot of the best information is available for free, just with your internet browser, and you can learn a tremendous amount. So if you're
Hmm.
starting out in sales and you're just trying to understand the basic concepts, I would just go to YouTube and type in some of the basic contents, and start to create your own playlist of the basics of selling, and just start to use learn some of these skills from the lectures and the different content that's out there. And then the main thing with sales is, at some point you turn off the YouTube and put all your notes away, and then just go sell.
Hmm.
You've got to take those skills and start using them, and learning from your mistakes and things that went wrong, to improve your skills because it's really it's a one-to-one contact, and probably the best way to learn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it depends on your loving format as well. For example, I know someone likes to read books, others watch video. Someone
Yeah.
is good with audio podcasts. Yeah, for example, I love audio podcasts because when you are walking with dogs or just I don't know, training, exercising, you can listen to audio podcasts. By the way, you have your podcast. Can you
Yeah.
tell about your podcast? Because yeah, I think it's a good way to learn about sales as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, basically every software as a service company out there, I don't say every, but most software as a service companies have a sales development team. And it's basically that it's a team of people that sits between the marketing department and the sales team, and their whole job is to just prospect for new customers or follow up on inbound leads. And
Mhm.
so there's this industry that's basically been created over the last 10 years, specializing in this one niche, and that's what our podcast focuses on. So we talk to senior marketing and sales leaders. We talk to the managers that are running the sales development programs, and then we talk to the reps who are actually doing the job every day, to try to pull out the best practices and the best way to do it. And
Mhm.
so it's great because on the flip side, from a marketing perspective, they're all potential customers for us as well, because we sell advisory services for this team, and we run events, so
Mhm.
it's like, let's bring them in the family, man. You know what I mean? and
Yeah.
we get to know them, and we help them, and we become friends, and there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Yep.
Especially about events, you can build relationships if you attend on events and ask some questions, great questions, because it's hard to ask these questions online when you see someone face by face. Yeah, you can ask many good questions. Let's talk about leadership. Can you tell if someone can't feel to be active or you know is it possible to I don't know, it's like to educate yourself to be a leader, to get leadership skills and to use them to sell your products?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. I think that obviously there's people that are born, with certain
Yeah.
God-given attributes. I mean, there's natural born leaders, there's natural born salespeople, there's natural born athletes. It's like some people win the lottery,
Yeah.
with their parents and how they were born and stuff like that, for sure. I mean, I think that's, you can't dispute that some people have a head start. But
Mhm.
for the average person, you can definitely increase your leadership skills and your sales skills incrementally, through intense study, practice, and even coaching. There's coaches for getting better at these things. And so I think that it's nature, but it's also nurture. If you really want to be better at some of these things, you can absolutely increase your skills there.
Yeah. I agree with that. I remember when I started to film my videos, and for me, that was much better to break my leg than film a video.
Yeah.
I was scared. Camera, I didn't know what to say. I wrote the full transcript of this video,
Mm.
and I failed with my first attempt. I removed this video and made a few more attempts. Yeah, but during the time when I decided, so I love it because after filming 100 videos, and yeah, I decided to go to English speaking countries because I started in Ukraine, to film videos. Yeah, so I think it's experience and consistency. Can you tell more about
Yeah.
um consistency? What do you think? How it's important today, to improve your skills, to be consistent in your way?
Yeah. I think that's it, exactly, and I'll give you a perfect example. I hate writing. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like, not breaking the leg, but I mean, it's torturous for me, because I can't focus on it, and it's really, really hard for me to get the
Hmm.
ideas down on into the computer. But I wrote a book, I we have a book called The Sales Development Framework, and I think it's pretty good. And literally it's exactly what you mentioned. It's just consistency, habitual activity over the course of time, and sticking with something, to achieve a goal. That's all. That's it,
Hmm.
100%. And there's a great book called Atomic Habits, which I'm sure that listeners are aware of, and it really breaks down, how to start atomic, like a very small habit, but
Hmm.
repeated day by day by day, until it builds up to something. And so that's what I did with writing. It was just like I hated it. I didn't want to do it. It's miserable, but one page, half a page, one sentence every day. And after a couple of years, you have a book. So
Nice, nice.
yeah.
Yeah. And I hated to take a cold shower, but I do it every single day, over 4 years, something like this. Because in 2019, yeah, and that was 2019, I came back to Ukraine from Turkey. We spent time in Turkey, and I got flu and couldn't recover 45 days. that was hard. I don't know what to do. 45 days. I think that was the first COVID-19, on this planet, because we got uh, epidemic. That was in 2020, yeah, or 2021. But 45 days I couldn't recover, and I got it that medicine pills can't help me. After recovering, I decided to take a cold shower every single day.
Mm.
And for over 3 years, I didn't get any flu, cold, and completely forget about that. So
Ah,
and I still hate it. I still hate,
mm,
but
yeah.
if you consistent in your way, if you like perseverance, you can go ahead with that. Okay,
Yeah.
I have the question about the
That's
future.
awesome. Yeah.
Can you predict the future in sales? What kind of future will be? Tools will replace sales people, or they can't because they can't touch emotions. 75 of all decisions are emotions. And yeah, what kind of future you see, and what companies need to do today to take this future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that salespeople they'll become more valuable, great salespeople. But if they're not great salespeople, then they'll be replaced more and more, like we were talking about with computers and robots and deep
Mhm.
fakes and things like that. So a great salesperson, it becomes a trusted advisor. They're
Mhm.
almost like a consultant. Because they know the industry, they know the market, they're really intimately aware of your problems, and they'll put together a solution that can truly help you. They'll always be that, for the foreseeable future, and that will become more and more valuable, and those people will become higher, paid and more richly rewarded because of being able to develop that skill set. But really, the lower that you go on the salesperson, value chain, the more and more it'll be replaced by robots. And so I would just say, and it's the same for consultants or coaches or business people in general. If you need to work a lot harder to improve your skills and get better at what you're doing every day, because your competitor is not necessarily the other company that's competing against you.
Mhm.
It's mediocrity. It's
Mhm.
being if you've ever heard of that expression, there's above the API and below the API.
Mhm.
And any human job that ends up below the API will be replaced by a robot. And so
Mhm.
you've got to fight every day to increase your value, so that you're above the API. That's my that's my advice.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that. I think, it's better to check out online studies. What kind of occupations will disappear? And
Yeah.
during the whole history, it's not the first time when some occupations disappeared. And probably taxi drivers, I don't know, like similar occupations will disappear. I'm not sure about accounting. It's complex process, but yeah, it's better to learn, and creativity will live longer. Robots can't replace creativity, or I don't know, possibly can. We will see. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, David, it's a big pleasure to get you on my show, to
Yeah.
learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Yeah, definitely. Just tenbound.com. So tenbound.com. Tons of free resources about this type of thing. And we'd love to see you at one of the events. So
Nice, nice. You can announce any events. I'll submit to our description.
yeah, absolutely. So just we do virtual conferences, and then we have a live conference.
Mhm.
This cannot be replaced by a robot, right? He said. So we have a live conference at the end of the year in Austin, Texas, where we'll have leaders in the software space and marketing, sales development, sales, etc.
Mhm.
And it should be a lot of fun. So I hope
Mhm.
everybody can make it.
Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Reach out to David, ask him questions, follow him on social media, take part and attend his events. Yeah, it's a big pleasure, David, again, to learn from you. You share a lot of valuable insights. And thanks, guys, for listening and watching us.